So far, people have been loving the GPS added into the game. It's really changed how people are playing the game when it first has released. And it's also been great for new players because it's easier for them to get right into working the fields. But also the experienced players, I think, are appreciating it because A, they don't have to wait for the mod to come out to allow them to do this, but also it's a simplified system and it mimics real life technology, so it's cool to have that added into the game. Well, I think we always kind of go based off of, what brands want to get into the game, right? So for Peas and Beans especially, we have Oxbow, who had joined in Farming Simulator 22 for the first time, and then they wanted to add these new machines in, so it was kind of a natural fit to be able to go to those crops as new ones. I think it's the rice equipment, personally. I mean, the Oxbow stuff that we talked about for the Peas and Beans is cool, but the rice equipment is for the first time, like, you're seeing something different that we've not had, especially with the Iseki rice planter and harvester, the Japanese style, adding that flair to our first ever Asian map. So I've really enjoyed being able to place rice paddies down, flood the field. The water is looking really cool, so I would say it'd have to be the rice equipment. I think it's just, a natural evolution of the Giants engine. So every time there's a new version of the game coming out, the engine itself is being built upon and updated. Our developers are always trying to go outside of, what they've already created and learn new techniques as they're moving along into different versions. So the engine took a step up, and it allowed us to do things that improved the overall visuals of the game. Well, I think it's GPS added some realism. We've added some baby animals as well, so they go through different stages, and you actually have different models for the ages now. So we always strive to add more realism. We also have gotten new tools. Like, there's a tool that we now use to get the paint color exactly right on the machines that are in Farming Simulator 25. So it's those technological advancements and things like that. Yeah, with the GPS and the new AI helper, like the AI helper is a lot more intelligent now because it uses this same GPS routing. So you're able to trust them to work the fields more. They actually will work it the way that it should be. So if you're cultivating or plowing, for example, you start on the inside of the field and work your way out. If you're harvesting, they'll start on the outside, do the headlands first, and then move into the middle as they finish. So yeah, there's some more of those improvements there. I don't know, Farming Simulator is one of those games that it's starting to appeal to more and more people. Maybe it's that they're looking for a change of pace, that they're playing shooters a lot and they want something more relaxing to play. But there's also a lot of our players that I know that have never really been into games before. And then they suddenly, like if they've retired, for example, there's retirees that are looking for something to bide their time and they find Farming Simulator and they kind of fall in love with it. So there's a huge mix of all age ranges. We're a game that's family friendly and for every age range, pretty much from the time you can understand how to play it and understand the farming mechanics. But we also have, all the way up to some older ages too. So we just have a wide variety of players. Oh, I mean, Nitrado's been one of our partners since the very beginning of multiplayer for Farming Simulator. So providing the servers has, helped us throughout the years, and they've really built up a good rapport with the community as well that are looking for servers. So it's really cool to be able to play multiplayer, and Nitrado is one of the companies that provides that for our game. Not that I'm aware of really any changes, for mods. As long as everyone has the same, they can play together. I think that there are some mods that eventually will come out through the life cycle that maybe will change some things in multiplayer that make it a little bit different, change up the gameplay. But I think the big thing is just the game starting with cross-platform multiplayer and being able to play with your friends on any platform. I would say it's the passenger feature that we added in the Kubota DLC for Farming Simulator 22. It is now in the base game at the start. So some of the cars in the game, the Kubota Sidekick, for example, you can ride along with your friends in multiplayer in these vehicles. I think it's such a sandbox environment that many crazy things can happen, right? But I love just seeing people create challenges in multiplayer and go wild with their imagination. And I think that that really is what our game provides, is you can come up with so many different scenarios, so many different ways to play the game. You can be more lighthearted and just goof off and still have a great time, or you can take it serious and focus on the farming and try to grow your business in the game. So yeah, that sandbox environment. Oh, of course, like we always do the research as much as possible to get things authentic. We want to strive to be as authentic as we can, while also making sure that the game is enjoyable for everyone. So, you know, the research goes into it. As far as like the equipment, you know, we work closely with brands. So depending on the brand, they might send us more information than another brand, but we're able to get things like CAD files. We're able to scan the machines, get the audio recorded as well to try to be as authentic as possible. Yeah, the AI workers are working the fields a lot better. We already talked about that a little bit. So I think it's allowed people a little bit more freedom. They know they can trust them to get the field work done now. It auto-calculates for any field as well. So even if you plow and create a new field, they'll be able to work it once it's created. So I think it's just those kinds of advancements that allow for a little bit ease of, hey, I'm going to trust you to work this field and get more done. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, things like GPS, we've added twisters and hail to the game. Those are the things that the community have been asking for over various versions. We send out surveys, probably about once a year or every couple of years as well, looking for feedback from the community. And we also collect feedback as part of the community teamwork that myself and my colleague Benny do. We're listening to the community. We were just at Llama in the UK. So at events we get feedback from the community online as well. So we're always looking for that feedback, and we do our best to figure out what are the most requested features from the community and then see if we can put them into the game. It has to, of course, fit the game, it has to make sense, and it has to be achievable in a way that we're happy with in the final product. So even if you've been requesting something for a few versions now and you don't see it, that doesn't mean that we haven't already thought about it or we're not thinking about it for the future. So yeah, please keep giving us your feedback. Oh yeah, we've already had a few content updates. Another one's coming out soon after we're recording this. And then starting in like a couple of months, we'll have our first DLC, our first pack of the Year 1 Season Pass. We've got 3 of those this year, and then at the end, closer to the end of the year, around November probably, we'll have our first expansion for the game, a new map, a bunch of equipment will come in. So we're doing things like that, and we'll also be at events like FarmCon, our own convention. Later this year, we'll be at Lindner in Austria, events like Agritechnica in Germany, and PAX in the US. We're attending these types of events, TwitchCon as well. So we like to get out there and connect with the community as much as possible. There's a lot of heartwarming moments. The game means a lot to a lot of people, so it's really cool to be able to go to events and meet these people in person and learn about how much they love the game, how much time they spend playing the game, and what it means to them, and kind of what it's provided them as far as entertainment value, but also as a sense of escape and relaxation on everyday life. So, you know, it's really cool for those things. But you also get really funny moments too, of course, where people say like, hey, like I crashed my tractor, or I got hit by the train and flew up into the air. So there's a little bit of both.